It's about the only thing that can be wilder is that lumber market, and well, that's a good time to bring in Robin Cross of StoneX in Chicago, the king of the wild markets. Robin joins us right now for a discussion about this lumber trade. And well, Robin, have things settled down any today or not?
They did, Marlon, and thank you. That was a fantastic segue. I loved it. So let's start with the prices. This has got to be a first. You and I are the king of firsts is actually what it should be. So right now, May hasn't even opened. Our expiring month, I know we're in expiration, but it still hasn't even opened. I'm showing a $9.99 bid versus a $10.10 offer. 0 trades. July right now, which is your lead through open interest, is 900 down 970 with 18 trades. We might as well mention September. It's got 850 down 270 with 1 trade. So, we've been going through this massive volatility, up and down, super high highs, super low lows. Well, it's like none of that even happened, right? I've literally had the probably quietest Thursday to Thursday since I've talked to you in the longest I could remember, right? So after experiencing this massive volatility, things, the market has a bit of a welcome pause, which I'm okay with that, but the real source of this, pause is mass confusion and uneasiness, as I would say, on both the bull and the bear side of things, okay? So we could kind of make an argument both ways. On the bull side of things, you could say, hey, the mills are still experiencing transportation issues. We have, really good demand, really good starts and permits numbers. So there's a couple cases. But the problem is, to me, that's old news. We've known that for some time since we came out of the pandemic, right? And on the bear side, it's a little more compelling to me. We have high interest rates, high inflation, overpriced housing, high fuel costs, an uneasy stock market. I feel like that all puts pressure on this market going forward. So the way it was I thought about it is, if you got the lumber on the ground today, you can get a bit of premium bit. But there's so much fear baked into the market that the guys, even though it's a discount and cheaper, they're uneasy. No one's really interested unless it's really a no-brainer. And the one thing that this market has proven to you, you could get in where you fit in, right? How many times have we been on the air going over saying, hey, this is a $300 discount. Hey, this is a $100 premium. So there's no real reason to get excited and, feel forced to get in this market. I think you could kind of chill and wait for the market to make a mistake and then act accordingly, right? And if you look, I went back and looked at all the expirations over the last 12, so I looked back at 12 basically. So, you're talking 2 full years. And the one consistent thing I see in the cash market is, days prior to expiration or just maybe a couple days into expiration like we are now, there's nothing on the mill list. But and that kind of usually spooks the market a little bit, but what guys got to remember, they don't show anything on the mill list is because they sell it through the board via EFP. So right now, there may not have been a lot of cash business done, but we have done over 150 EFP. So that means someone had bought 150 cars through the board. So, so to say that there's nothing on the list, you could still get your cash and, believe it or not, you could even get it at discount here. Print. We'll talk about cash a little bit. Random Length Print came out yesterday at 1090, which is up $10. So it's we had to jump up from the low, and then it's I would call it sideways up here. And, obviously I'm still getting massive reports of shipping delays, but I do believe it's getting better. And the one thing I know from being a lumber guy my entire life is that when you have these strong spring rallies, July is the great equalizer to that rally because, everybody disappears. They go on vacation, buying that house is not a priority as it was like in the spring. It seems like everybody's amped up in the spring, and then it's like June 1st rolls around and forget about it. It's hard to even find traders in the office at this point. But I still, as I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, I still say caution's on the horizon just because even myself, I'm kind of not comfortable in my own skin. Like I said, I can make a case for it to go either way. So I would just be very careful and wait for it to correct itself one way or another. And then one last thing I want to talk about was open interest. So May's in expiration. We still got 443 cars left to get through, and that goes off on May 15th. And your July now lead only has 1,644. So historically speaking, that's a bit of a low amount of open interest at this time. But open interest is still hanging around in that 2000s, which we know, you and I have talked about this for 4 years, that's historically low. So, I think everything that we talked about and the uneasiness in the market is directly reflected into the open interest. And then one last thing, we had another change in daily ranges, right? You know, I told you we had that emergency one put in, 57 and 86 bucks, which was crazy. So now it kind of cooled off a little bit. So now your daily limit in lumber is 49 bucks and expanded, which you know we'll see is $74.
Oh, okay.
And other than that, I just want to say one little thing. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be, and I really appreciate you know, everything they do. And you know, that's about it. Good buddy.
Well said. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Robin. Good information. Robin Cross of StoneX in Chicago. We'll come back in a moment. I'll run down our livestock trade right after this.